In this video, I'm going to show you how our agency is using Claude to do in minutes what most email marketing teams waste hours on every single week. Because after generating over $175 million in revenue for more than 250 plus e-commerce brands, I've realized most people are still using it the wrong way. They are treating Claude like nothing more than a writing assistant. But with the new updates they've been rolling out, it can do so much more. Now, I'm not going to tell you that AI is going to replace your entire team, because quite frankly, it won't. But I am going to be showing you the two most powerful ways Claude can change your entire email marketing approach. Because when used the right way, they can literally help you generate millions of dollars from your email list. And I know this because it's exactly what we've done for our clients over the last few months. But before we get into the specifics, you first need to understand exactly why the old way of using things like Claude and ChatGPT is leaving so much more potential on the table for you. So you see, most brands and agencies use AI as part of an outdated system. They prompt it to come up with things like subject lines, they ask it to rewrite copy, and if they want to be a little extra technical, maybe they use it to brainstorm campaigns. But that's the old way of using AI. Because recently, the way Claude can now operate, when used correctly, has completely shifted. It can now connect directly to the tools you're already using with its skills and connectors features. Meaning, it's not just answering questions in a chat window anymore. It's operating inside your actual data and workflow. Think of it this way. Before, you were handing AI a single task in isolation. Now you can let it work directly inside your entire operation. And that's a completely different category of useful, as long as you focus on setting up the right use cases for it, which is why I'm going to walk you through the two ways we found the most valuable after running hundreds of campaigns for our clients every month, if not thousands, starting with analytics. So if you've ever tried extracting information manually, you already know just how time consuming it can be. You have to open your meta ads, you have to open Klaviyo, you have to filter by campaign, you have to filter by open rates, then go through each one of them one by one, copying and pasting data from every single subject line to header formats into a Google Doc, and then cross-referencing dates, segments, send times across weeks of campaigns. Believe me, we used to do this 4 or 5 years ago and it was a mess. It's not necessarily hard work, it's just extremely slow and tedious, which means instead of spending time on actual strategy, your team members are wasting hours on repetitive tasks that are completely unnecessary. Because with Claude's connectors features, you can skip all of that and directly connect your Klaviyo account into Claude. Now, all you have to do is ask it exactly what analytics or information you're looking for, and you will have all the answers at your fingertips in the matter of minutes, not hours. So let me show you how this actually works. All right, awesome. So now I'm going to be showing you straight up exactly how you can connect your Klaviyo account to your Claude and vice versa. It's very simple. Once again, I've been loving putting together these interactive things for you guys. I've actually been getting a lot of good feedback, so I'm going to continue doing so, right? First things first, you need to actually connect it, right? You go into your settings within Claude, right? You want to go ahead, go over to connectors. You want to add a new connector, search for Klaviyo. It'll show up right there. And then lastly, you want to authenticate it, so connect it. It'll give you the prompt right there. It's super easy, takes honestly 10 seconds. And yeah, just like that, it's pretty much connected. It will go ahead and sync up with everything that's going on the account. What I always recommend is go ahead and give it a very simple and straightforward prompt. You can go ahead and pause and go ahead and screenshot this exact prompt and paste it into Claude. It'll go ahead and give you a full account summary, total sent, total revenue, average open rate, average click-through rate, revenue per recipient, unsubscribe rate, your revenue per campaign, its breakdown, everything that's going from top performance to subject lines to click to opens to list health, right? Whatever you ask it, it will be able to output you. But there is one very, very big caveat, which I made sure to outline, is what Claude will tell you is not always going to be 1,000,000% the truth, because once again, it says right here, your revenue per recipient dropped from 0.39 to 0.23. Consider sending fewer campaigns. This is the exact situation that I exactly caught Claude sort of gaslighting me, which I want to make a very clear thing, which once again, if you're not used to running emails or you're not an expert in that field, what you realize is, oh shoot, Claude's telling me to send fewer emails, so let me send fewer emails, when in reality, RPR decreases the more emails you send. So always tell Claude to optimize for total revenue, not RPR, not based off the generic metrics, because once again, if you're not detailed enough, it will give you garbage, and then you will end up transforming your email account into something that should not be happening. Other caveats and issues could be something like Claude will say open rates decline over the month. Remember, AI is meant for you to give you both the pros and the cons. So it'll tell you naturally that, hey, you're doing all of this stuff great, even though you're doing the absolute perfect, you'd be doing 100% amazing, you're super happy with everything. AI will naturally tell you that, hey, there are things wrong, these are the things that are wrong when it's looking at a narrowed scope, because like I mentioned previously, it doesn't tell you everything, it doesn't give you the full scope with your meta ads, your Google, your front end, as well as other things going on with your back end. So something like this is also another issue that we ran into. Open rates declined over the month, your list may be fatiguing. It's not the case. Ask Claude to compare the click to open rate instead, and then filter out the random MPP noise. Another very huge thing that we notice all the time is something like campaign B underperformed, consider removing this type of content. Don't remove your content. That's not always going to lead to better results. Try out new content, make sure that there's different sort of things that you're giving it, give it the full scope in terms of what you're planning, why you sent out that particular email. Maybe you did a dedicated launch for that particular product, even though you knew that it wasn't going to perform good, it wasn't one of your top sellers, different things like that. So context is always king when it comes to AI or any of these things. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you are not going to be replacing your marketing team with this. You might be thinking, whoa, I'm getting all these analytics, I could just do this all myself, when in reality, the big issue here is it is only looking at singular data. And what singular data means in this situation is it's only looking at numbers. It's not looking at any sort of tests that you guys have planned. It's not looking at any sort of numbers that you guys have outside of Claude Use. So in this case, it is purely looking at the numbers here and taking it at face value. So if you guys have other platforms and other metrics and other things that are happening within the business, it's very important for you to go ahead and do this. There's also a number of things that it sees at face value within Claude Use and it thinks it is 100% correct. A very good example of this is, say you go ahead and you give out a 25% discount code because Mother's Day is coming up, and naturally what Claude will tell you is, hey, this email that gave a discount code did extremely good. I want us to have the next 10 emails have a discount code, when in reality that might do good in the very short form for the next 1 to 2 emails, but you're just turning your brand into a very hard discount brand. So not all things need to rely solely on numbers, because there are things outside such as brand image, as well as other things outside of Claude Use specifically that you need to focus on. SMS, Meta, Google Ads, Amazon, the entire ecosystem that needs to work all in one. But naturally, this is a great way for you to get those very simple questions answered, such as, hey, what's our average open rate in the last 20 days? What's our average open rate since we've started sending to our inactive people? Various things like this will give you a far better understanding, especially when you have no idea of what's going on within your business. So now, if you want to start building campaigns based on actionable data like this without having to set up Claude workflows yourself, you can actually book a call below, and it's the very first link, and we will give you a free audit showing you exactly what you're missing out on. We've generated over $175 million in online sales for our clients and handle everything from setting up the email marketing infrastructure to creating campaigns that constantly drive sales, with results like helping one of our clients make over $1 million in just under 12 hours at a 50+% profit margin. So if you'd like to see if we can even do something similar for your brand, just click the link below and book a call. Either way, that brings us to the second use case, building a brand Bible. Because most brands know their product really well, they know what it does best, what makes it different, and why customers love it. But knowing their product and knowing how to market it in a way that converts are two completely different things. Which means what ends up usually happening is brands write their emails based on what feels right, or whatever the copywriter thinks will resonate that week. But that's what ends up consistently costing you revenue. Luckily, there's an easy fix for this problem, and we like to call it the brand Bible. It's your single source of truth when it comes to creating email campaigns, and we use it to ensure what we're sending out will actually resonate with the people receiving it. Time and time again, I see audits of brands that are working on accounts, and you're referencing things like blood pressure and diabetes when the product does the complete opposite. But while setting up a brand Bible usually takes several hours of manual research and going through each bit of customer data, Claude can do the exact same thing in the matter of minutes. Now let me show you what this actually looks like. Now going into the brand Bible system. So this is exactly how we go about creating our brand Bibles. There are a few things that I'm leaving out in this just naturally because there's a lot of things that you can do to create a perfect Bible, but there's also a lot of bad things you can do, which for us, our particular method is very, very intricate. I'm going to show you a summary version of it, but once again, this is enough for you guys to get the idea of how you should probably be making one for your brand. So naturally, once again, create a new project within Claude, upload the source material. So different things like Facebook ad library library screenshot, website URL, VOC data, competitor references, any existing brand guidelines. This is very important. Like I mentioned just previously, context is king. So you want to make sure that you're able to run that particular prompt. So this is what the prompt could be, something along the lines of this. This is once again a very diluted down and generic version of it, just so you guys understand. I'm going to go ahead and build a brand Bible with you guys. So this prompt right here, we can go ahead and toss this into here, and let's do this for AG1. Make a PDF. Give us some time, and hopefully by the time we're done, we'll come back to it. An example of what this will look like is, of course, it'll have the brand name, and it will obviously tell you the industry, the core mission, brand promise, unique mechanism. But once again, all these things, they're not going to know 100% of your business. So it is your job to go ahead and update the context accordingly, right? So target audience profiles, brand voice, right? So it's going to tell you things like confident, not cocky, science-backed, not lectury, empathetic, not pitying, direct, not aggressive, right? So depending on what your particular tone and brand is, you need to make sure that you're giving everything. VOC is a massive thing for us. Within our agency alone, we probably have thousands, tens of thousands of VOC banks specifically for our products and the brands we work with, because naturally they're key terms that are working really well on ads that our clients want to tell us, or the brands we work with want to tell us, because hey, if a brand has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a winning headline, we want to make sure that we're utilizing that within their backend in emails. Proven copy angles and frameworks, right? So different things like that, why it failed before angle, 14-day challenge, gut brain connection. These are all generic examples that I'm giving you guys. Of course, no brand will be able to sort of plug and play this. That's why each brand, if you make this for it, you need to be very dialed in and intricate. And then naturally, of course, visual and design direction. And yeah, all in all, the whole goal of this is for you to use it as your source of truth. So you don't want to be bouncing around using a different doc along with your website and different things like that. Of course, those are great. So the main point is so we can have consistency across 10, 20, 30 plus emails across an entire account. Now, let's go ahead and take a look back at that AG1 Bible. And boom, just like that, it creates this incredible branded, once again, this is just going to be based off what it got from the website. So it's not going to be the end all be all. It doesn't include its meta ad library. It doesn't include things that have been responded by customers on customer surveys inside their sign up form, different things like that. But for the most part, it got very much in depth, over 20 plus pages, but this will probably require a lot more prompting, because once again, it is just going ahead and giving us what is on their website, which anyone can basically just pull. So when creating it for your own brand, you want to make sure that you're giving it as much as context as possible. And we don't really care for all of these fancy pages and designs and colors and everything. All we care about is the facts and making sure that the things that we include in this Bible are going to be the end all be all. We're able to reference it, so that way when we make our copy, it is spot on. So yeah, and that's it. That's exactly how we're using Claude inside of our agency to save hours every week and write emails that are actually grounded in real customer data. Now, just understanding your campaign data and creating a brand Bible isn't enough to generate consistent revenue from email marketing. You need a solid strategy to drive sales. So if you want to see how everything we've just covered fits into a complete campaign that generated over $1.3 million for one of our clients in just 30 days, watch this next video and I'll see you there.